One Texas State building is being demolished this week.
So we asked, what's next for that spot?
Governor Greg Abbott just signed a law making a big change in Texas transportation. Which drivers will it affect? All of us.
And a woman-owned gym is driven to help their members. Plus,
then we can help with the pain and help with the imbalances to get them stronger.
You'll meet an expert who shows us the benefits of physical therapy. And later,
Eagle Pass was on the move last weekend. I'll take you along for the ride. Hi, welcome to Bobcat Bulletin. I'm Kayla Alvarez.
and I'm Ray Yates. The Texas State Aqua Sports Center was built in 1971, 52 years ago.
This week, contractors started demolition. Reporter Jacob Van Sant asked why it's coming down.
With the Aqua Sports Center demolition set to begin today, I spoke to Texas State lifeguard Elizabeth Barton and Texas State Associate Vice President of Facilities Dan Costello.
And did you know it was being torn down starting today?
That I definitely did not know. I didn't even know it was there, and the fact that it's getting torn down, I had no clue.
1971, and it's basically a combination of a gym, and in the basement there's a swimming pool, and so and it served that purpose for a long period of time. It's over 50 years ago. When we built the Student Rec Center, we moved our recreational activities from this facility over into the rec center. So we're basically using a combination of job order contracting, where we have pre-negotiated arrangements with contractors, a number of contractors, and we've one of those elected to take this job. So we have one contractor serving kind of as the prime, and then there's also a separate contractor who's taking care of the demolition. So any remaining materials that the university has in the space, take care of the abatement of some asbestos. There's some asbestos in the building. We'll abate that, remove that, dispose of that properly. We'll cut all the utilities to the building, and that really gets it ready for what you would consider to be traditional demolition.
And as far as you know, is there any current plans to do anything with the land after the demolition is taking place?
No, not currently. What we are is we have just awarded, or we're just awarding our contract to do a campus master plan, which will kind of identify the development for the university for years 2025 to 2035. Obviously, during that process, we'll look at this as an area for possible redevelopment.
While there is currently no plans for the land after the demolition is complete, Elizabeth had a couple ideas of how it could be used.
And currently there are no plans to replace it with anything? Like, if you could think of any ideas, what would you like to see replace it?
Personally, and I know other people would enjoy this as well, I think parking garage, parking lot, something like that.
That was Jacob Van Sant reporting. With all the hills and stairs, it can be hard enough to get around campus for someone who is mobility impaired. Add in construction, and it gets even tougher. The University Star reported in March about how construction projects really get in the way of students with disabilities. The Texas State Facilities website reports a dozen projects, although some are finished and others haven't started yet. One student told the University Star, quote, "The stairs and hills are already hard for me, but the construction only makes that strain worse." There's a change coming for Texas drivers that could actually make things easier.
Yeah, change is coming in a couple of years. It means Texans won't have to wait in line to pass state inspections. Antoine Payne talked to a couple of folks who will be affected by the change.
Texas is eliminating the inspection requirement for most cars on the road. It is one of 13 states that require inspections. For those living in big metro areas, drivers will still be required to go through one part of the inspection.
So the only thing that's going to change is our inspectors won't be doing the safety portion of the inspection, strictly the emissions portion of it.
Residents in smaller counties, such as Hayes County, will still pay the $7.50, but they will skip the whole inspection process. Cars registered in counties like Williamson and Travis will have to pass the annual emissions test. However, there are some older cars that will be exempt.
So any car that's over within 98 now of this year is considered a classic, and classics are all they don't go through the emissions.
Opponents of the law change warn that roads will carry more dangerous cars if there is no safety inspections required.
vehicles that we see come in that have bald tires, that have ripped wiper blades, and so on and so forth when it comes to safety.
Workers routinely see cars fail inspection.
I'd say probably 25 to 40%. We get a lot of vehicles that do not pass.
The new changes will go into effect January 1st, 2025. Inspection stations will be anxious about the potential loss of revenue, but drivers will be happy to spend less time waiting for their inspection.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Actually got one more year on this one. One more year and I'm only paying just that $7, man.
For Bobcat Bulletin, I'm Antoine Payne.
Some books in the Texas public school libraries will be banned because a bill signed by Governor Greg Abbott. It's one of 4 parental rights bills. Abbott signed it this week.
I'm going to sign House Bill 900. It prohibits library material that is sexually explicit, vulgar, or educationally unsuitable, and recognizes parents as the primary decision makers regarding their child's access to library materials.
The new law will grow support for students with special needs and let parents make the decision about repeating a grade. Abbott, a Republican, was surrounded by supporters of the new law. It will also require the state library and archives commissions and State Board of Education to come up with new rules for school libraries. Meanwhile, in Illinois, Democrat Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a new law Monday that will not let public schools and libraries ban books. It's the opposite of the Texas law. In order for them to keep their state funding, schools and school libraries will have to follow the American Library Association's Bill of Rights, or they can write their own rules. Pritzker says the law is supposed to prevent the censorship of marginalized groups. While 5 states are considering or already passed restrictions on books this year, this Illinois law against book bans is its first of its kind. Kayla, there's a new gym in downtown San Marcos, and this one is a little unique, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's owned by 3 women, but as Becca Cade shows us, that doesn't mean the workouts are any less intense.
Southwest Training, a new gym in downtown San Marcos, had its grand opening in January of this year. The gym is owned and operated by 3 women who aim to raise fitness standards. They believe in fostering a strong community and committing to hard work for lasting transformations. With classes available on both weekdays and weekends, the gym welcomes individuals of all athletic levels. One owner, Amanda Alexander, shared their vision for Southwest Training.
It really just transfers into like a space where we really intimately know each person that comes through the door, and we get to know their goals and what drives them, and so we feel like we're more like partners in that way of like our clients, and really they turn into our friends as well, but helping them through their fitness journey makes us really happy.
They express their commitment to creating an inclusive environment where ever-changing workouts keeps things exciting for all. Alonzo Chapa, an athlete turned regular at Southwest Training, shared their story about finding the perfect fit at this gym.
One, it's because it's pretty close from my house. The other one, it's woman-owned, so you will see different. It's super clean. I don't have those cold vibes from other CrossFits. And the people are here are pretty cool. The owners are pretty cool. It's been a month and already feel like I make a lot of friends.
With the first free trial class, there are no excuses. If you're ready to break a sweat, challenge yourself, and be part of a team, Southwest Training is the place to be.
I'm standing here at the new gym, Southwest Training, where I just booked my free first class. The class was an hour-long workout, and it was super intense, as you can see with my knees. No matter what level of gym bro you are always welcomed at Southwest Training for your first free trial. I'm Rebecca Cade, and this is Bobcat Bulletin.
Ever get a crick in your neck or feel a pinch in your shoulder? Katie Mackey looked into the benefits of physical therapy to help solve that.
We tend to overlook the causes of our physical discomfort, but those things can be important to pay attention to. I went and talked to a couple of people about why physical therapy is important for that.
Dr. Jeanette Hardesty talked to us about some reasons people may need physical therapy.
One, if they've had an injury or even something insidious that came on, like they're having pain for whatever reason, just from maybe positioning at work or even aging, or where they've really worked out hard in sports when they were younger, then we can help with the pain and help with the imbalances to get them stronger and for their body to be functioning in balance. So that eliminates the pain, manages the pain, and eliminates or reduces further injury, an injury later in life.
Wendell is a former athlete and shared with us what he's learned from physical therapy.
So it really showed me some intuition on like how to train properly. So instead of, I guess, trying to jump into like lifting the heaviest weights, I really had to work on form and pay attention to how my joints were working, especially with the muscles and the leg and everything like that.
Back to Bobcat Bulletin, I'm Katie Mackey.
It might be a good time to check on any of your friends that are Miami sports fans, like our professor.
Are you a Miami sports fan?
No, I'm a Mavericks fan myself.
Oh, rough week for the Miami sports fans. Plus, I had quite the adventure last weekend.
For these racers, there's no limit.
Can you handle the speed?
And with golf season in full swing, I'll show you a way to improve your game for the cheap. We'll see you in a minute.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact. More than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Kayla, you've heard about those street takeovers, right? They're illegal and can be kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I have. But I found some car fans south of here who race on the street, and they found a safer, legal way to do it. 3 hours from San Marcos in the small city of Eagle Pass, Texas, racers show up and show out at the No Limit racing events. I spoke with event organizer Freddy Rodriguez and his team.
We make racing events every other month or every 2 months. We host it for the public. We got racers, from all over the town, from all over other towns and cities show up, to have fun, race legally. A lot safer than out in the streets.
Back when we started, it was about adding an air filter, an exhaust system. Cars were not as fast as today, so people would spend $1,000 to $5,000 to be involved in the racing scene. I mean, these cars right here, anybody that's here today has $50,000 to $100,000 in their vehicles, and you don't have a chance to participate. So it's a very different event now. It's a game changer for anybody that wants to be in the racing world and spend a lot of money.
It's more spending time with friends.
It's our second family. One thing that I think is something to be proud of, obviously Joe has been the leader and the fastest ever since back in the 90s. And even if you don't believe it, he's still the fastest today. So something to be very proud of, and we look up to him.
We don't got a limit to how we build our cars. We don't got a limit to how fast we want to go. We don't got a limit to how good our team is becoming and has been.
It's more like a lifestyle for us. All our time, our money, everything goes into the cars. When we hang out, we're always talking about cars, racing. We've been doing it for 20 plus years. We don't get bored of it, so we enjoy it a lot.
As long as the city, county and city officials allow it, we'll probably continue. It all depends on who is against it and who is for it, and if they help us out or not. So as long as they let us do it, we'll keep doing it.
I'm Kayla Alvarez for Bobcat Bulletin.
Man, some nice cars in that story, Kayla. Thanks. In other sports, it was a tough stretch for Florida sports fans this week. The Denver Nuggets took down the Miami Heat in the NBA championship Monday night, and the Vegas Knights beat the Florida Panthers for the NHL Stanley Cup on Tuesday. Nuggets center Nikola Jokic played a big part in that series, winning the Finals MVP. And Jonathan Marchessault, the Knights' right winger, made history for the Knights. He was the first undrafted NHL player to ever win the playoff MVP award. Both teams won in a gentleman's sweep, needing just 5 games to win it all.
Wow, well, I guess with the NBA and NHL seasons over, it's time to watch some golf?
You got that right, and I found a hidden gem in San Marcos where you can get your golf game up on the cheap. Summertime is here, and the best place to spend it is outside golfing. Bobcat Driving Range is the best place to work on your game for cheap, whether you're good or bad at golfing. We made our way to the driving range today and asked scratch golfer Caleb Kellums for any tips and why he chooses Bobcat driving range.
Just play. Just go to the range and just keep swinging. That's really the best way to get better, is just to keep putting swings together.
Perfect. So how often do you come to the range?
I would say once every at least 2 weeks when the weather's good, because it's so cheap here. You can just get a bucket of balls for about $10 and just take swings, and more than half the time they give you a bigger bucket anyways.
We also reached out to Danny Williams, one of the guys that helps run the driving range, on what they do to bring in new golfers.
We started up closest to the pin, a chip-off deal every Thursday night, about 6 o'clock, I believe it starts. And we have Friday night. I think we have a band out here about 10 o'clock at night, and they do whatever they do out here then, which is probably play music and maybe some of them hit balls.
Danny also said that on Friday nights, it is $10 for unlimited balls. I know where I'll be Friday night. Well, that's all the time I have. Ray Yates with Bobcat Bulletin, out. That's all for us this week. Remember, Monday is Juneteenth.
It's an official university holiday, so no school Monday. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.